Urgent warning to all Tesla investors, according to Dan Ives. Now, you guys already know how I feel about Dan Ives. I mentioned it many times. Yes, I respect how loud, how bullish he is, and how he tells the facts. But at the end of the day, he is a stock price chaser. He's a stock chaser. If the stock goes up, he talks about why the stock is amazing. When it goes down, he talks about why it's go bad, and it's just, it's crazy. But if you're a Tesla investor, urgent warning, you guys better listen up, because the tariffs do have an impact on Tesla and some other things. However, though, there is some good news in this video as well. Actually, a lot of good news, because as usual, Tesla's always positioned very well for these things. So we'll get into that as well. So do me a favor, guys, smash that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get down to it. I may be a little down. I am a little under the weather somehow, but I'm going to take my time. So let's get down to this video. Web Bush on Tesla. We remain firmly bullish on the long-term Tesla story, but Musk needs to get his act together, or else, unfortunately, darker times are ahead for Tesla. Anywho, next line here says, Web Bush's Dan Ives reiterated an outperform rating and a stock price of $550 price target. Bro, that's... So, you see what I mean? He still has a stock price of $550, but he's saying that Elon Musk needs to get his act together, or else there's darker times ahead. Anyways, let's continue. He says that autonomous remains the biggest transformation to the auto industry in modern day history, and in our view, Tesla will own the autonomous market in the US and globally, with the launch of the unsupervised FSD in Austin, kicking off the autonomous era at Tesla that we value at $1 trillion alone on a sum of the parts valuation. I agree. I absolutely agree. And I'm buying more stock, as I did today. But Musk needs to stop this political firestorm and balance being a CEO of Tesla with Doge. The future is so bright, but this is a full-blown crisis Tesla is navigating now, and is primarily self-inflicted. Ooh, warning. Come on. Seriously. I'll get into my thoughts in a bit. He posted something. I mean, this is okay. I get it, right? He's talking his views, his thoughts. I get it, all right? He's talking about Tesla should step down from Doge, and Trump was saying that in his inner circle that he is stepping down, but then later it came out by the White House press secretary saying that that's not the case, and the Tesla went up on the delivery day where they got beaten down hard. The stock went up based on this news firmly. Then it went back down because of the tariffs. But listen to what Dan Ives has to say here. He says that we knew that Q1 Tesla deliveries would be soft, but these numbers were so bad. Now, I did say anything below 340,000 deliveries, that would be pretty bad, but you have to, come on. There were less than 4,000 vehicles off from the 340,000. The production numbers look like it's ramping up and it's en route to be delivered and stuff like that. So we can't really conclude. I mean, this happened similarly last year in Q1 of 2024 with the Model 3. Same thing. The Model Y, this time, they did it across all 4 factories. Q2 is going to be a whole different ball game. But he continues and says, we are not going to look at these numbers with rose-colored glasses. They were a disaster on every metric. Refresh issues, but brand crisis. Again, he's focusing on the brand crisis. No one can. Look, here's the thing with the brand crisis, guys. The brand crisis. Remember X, when Elon tried to buy Twitter, and now it's X? How all that brand crisis, all that kind of stuff. No one talks about that anymore today. Let's go back even further. Remember funding secure? That pissed off a lot of investors and a lot of people. No one talks about that today. Give it another year, guys. No one's going to talk about this. Especially when Elon steps down and he's no longer part of the politics anymore. Things are going to change. He says that the time has come for Musk. Fork in the road moment for Tesla. Get out of here. Sorry. This is just silly. It's just silly. Another 6 to 12 months, 18 months. This is not going to matter either. This is not going to matter. We're just trying to find a way to point problems, like to point what the issue is, so we feel better. The issue is that the refresh, Model Y refresh, the best-selling car in the world and the best-selling car for Tesla, wasn't delivering out of the 2 to 3 months in Q1. And the crazy part is that this past week, week 13 in Tesla, they had the best insured numbers for week 13 ever. It was a record, 21,000. And that shows you how it's ramping up. Europe will see it end of this month, next month. We just gotta stop being emotion. Nothing to do with politics. Maybe it does a little bit, but at the end of the day, in the long term, no one's gonna care. And we're seeing who these people are who are vandalizing the cars. And they're getting big sentence for it. Anyways, that is Dan Ives' thought, his warning. Here's the part where I want you guys to consider it more. There's a lot of people out there that say that Teslas won't have any effect. Tariffs won't have effect on Tesla vehicles. According to Elon himself, that's not the case. Sawyer Merritt here posted this great chart. Look at that. Where cars sold in America are made. Tesla, 100%. That's true. Vertically integrated. Same thing in China. China is 100% made in China. The vehicles in China. In Berlin, 100% made in Germany. The vehicles, the two factories, all the Teslas that are made in the US is 100% made in the US. And you can see the other brands not so much, which many Tesla investors come to the conclusion that, whether it's 25% tariffs, 10% tariffs, 100% tariffs, it's not going to matter because Tesla, it's 100% made in the US. Yes, that's true. But according to Elon Musk, they still get hit by tariffs. He says here, important to know that Tesla is not unscathed here. The tariff impact on Tesla is still significant. He's still saying that, yeah, great, but we still need to get some parts from other places as well to do it. Yes, we're the least affected one, but we're still going to be affected. I mean, this is not something that, we're scot-free. We're going to be the least affected, but still going to be affected. He also says that here, saying that to be clear, this will affect the price of parts in Tesla cars that come from other countries. The cost impact is not trivial. There it is again. He's saying that, look, the cost impact, it's going to still impact. It's still going to impact. So don't think that we're immune to it. We're not. We're still going to get impact. But the least out of everybody. But still, we're going to get impact. Meaning that maybe I'm pretty sure Elon knew about this. I'm pretty sure he bought a whole bunch of materials and, parts that he needs in stock way before these tariffs happen. So I'm pretty sure they're okay for the next couple quarters or few quarters, maybe even the next, let's say, couple quarters. I'm sure there's going to be some deals with tariff with other countries because I know this is a tactic for the US to get better negotiations, tariff prices, percentages from every country. I know that's the case. And we may see other countries drop off their tariffs. So it's going to be interesting. See how the chess move is going to be for the US. But nonetheless, if these tariffs are still in place in the next couple quarters, few quarters, then we'll see the impact then. Tesla, I'm pretty sure they bought a whole bunch of minerals and parts right before this. And that's the benefit of having Elon in part of the government because he can see what's going on and he's planning ahead. Saying, hey, Tesla, you guys better buy some stuff, man. You overstock it. It's okay. Hey, SpaceX, do the same. And the other companies that he runs as well. Positioned very, very well here. On some good news, the former Ford and CEO Mark Fields, he had some pretty interesting things to say about Tesla for the next quarter. Let's take a listen.
Joining us now is former Ford CEO Mark Fields, also has served as CEO of Hertz, and we're happy to have him as a CNBC contributor, particularly on days like this. I bet sometimes you're glad you don't run one of these things anymore, Mark, are you?
Yeah, it's kind of a good time to be a retired auto exec, but it's always in your blood. So there's always something interesting going on in the auto industry, and it's really interesting right now.
No doubt it's very interesting right now. What rises to the top for you, I mean, in terms of Tesla and the continued erosion, perhaps, of their market share? Or is it more about what we're going to hear later today from the president and what impact that really is going to have on the automakers?
I think it was a lot of noise in the quarter for Tesla, right? Because, their sales were down 13% year over year. They've been kind of losing share, at least on registration data, in all their major markets, whether it's China, Europe, or the US.
Actually, they're killing it with record-breaking insured numbers for week 13 in China. So I think he has to really look at this info. But I get what he's trying to say.
I think in the quarter, you had a couple of things going on. One is they were refreshing their Model Y, which is their best-selling vehicle. So they had a lot of changeover in their 4 plants around the globe. So that took out production. And then there's the other piece, which is, how much of a reputational damage has Tesla incurred because of Musk's involvement with the Trump administration. So I think there was a lot of noise in there. I think the second quarter is going to be very telling because you take the noise out of the production interruption that they had in the first quarter, and you really get to see what the true demand is for Tesla with Trump, with Musk involved with the Trump administration and the impact on them.
Music to my ears. Music to my ears. He says that refreshing their Model Y, which is their best-selling vehicle worldwide, and for Tesla is one of the main reasons why deliveries were low. I guarantee you, if this wasn't the case, it'll been easily over 400,000 vehicles deliveries. Easily. He also says reputational damage, but that's a lot of noise, meaning that it's not going to matter in the future. Just like as I mentioned earlier, the X noise when he bought Twitter and all that kind of, charades, and then the funding secure noise as well. This is not going to matter in the next 12 to 18 months. Maximum. Given the fact that Elon won't be part of the government at that time, which I don't think he would be. But he also says that second quarter will be less noisy for Tesla and you really get to see what the true demand is, which I 100% agree. Q2, they're not doing any refreshes or anything. Model Y is ramping up. We'll get some ideas about the affordable models, which is this quarter. End of this quarter. It's going to be flipping awesome. And that's true. I 100% agree. We can't look at Q1, which is, by the way, the worst quarter for all automakers for deliveries. And if there was any quarter to do these refresh things, to have deliveries, to show bad results, is this quarter. Because the rest of the quarters get stronger and stronger for automakers and for Tesla as well. And man, I can't wait until we stop talking about cars and we focus on robotaxi and FSD. This is more important. Anyways, but for now, that's what the noise is. So you got to cover that. But that's a really good point. If you really want to see demand, what true demand is, wait for Q2 results. And I've said it, Q2 is going to be flipping fire. Now, he says something very interesting here at the end of it, and I want you guys to take a listen because this is also in Tesla's benefit.
Hey, finally, Mark, there was this piece on the tape this week about Mercedes reportedly considering pulling their cheapest cars from the U.S. market because it's simply impossible to make up for the tariffs on those lower price models. Do you think that's likely and at scale? And what does that do to consumer choice?
Well, overall, if Mercedes does that, the other automakers may be thinking about that as well. For example, GM has to make a decision. Many of their lower priced vehicles are coming from Korea and Mexico. And listen, at the end of the day, if you can't make an economic profit on these vehicles, you have a choice to make. Do you just eat that to keep your product lineup full? Or do you decide to withdraw the market? So they could decide to do that. And Mercedes is particularly exposed. They import probably about 65% of their vehicles into the U.S. So even their high-margin vehicles that they produce in Europe are going to be dinged on profitability. So I think you're going to see a lot of automakers make a lot of rational decisions around what they do around the economics of their vehicles given these tariff impositions.
He says that Mercedes and others, like he pointed out, GM, has to cut their cheaper models from the US market. They either have to eat their profits and continue selling or withdraw. I mean, they could increase the price, but they seem that the market may not buy it. But everyone has to increase the price with all these tariffs. So I don't know why he's only saying these two solutions, but I'm thinking that I think they can increase the price. But nonetheless, the tariffs would eat into their materials and margins. It won't be a cheaper model anymore. So I get it why they have to withdraw. Or what they can do is they can build the entire plant that makes this particular vehicle in the US. Try to be like Tesla, to be vertical integrated as much as possible. But that's much easier said than done. And you know what this looks like to me, guys? This looks like to me that Tesla will again and is again in a position that'll take more market share. Because now you're going to get cheaper models, cheaper cars, and not going to be involved in the US because they just can't. It's not worth it for them. Tesla is the only one that's vertically integrated and probably the only company that will increase prices, of course, with all these tariffs. Price increase will be there, but not as much. Not as much. And not to mention, guys, that the EV credit is going away too, leaving Tesla to a better position to take more market share. Because again, you guys already know the EV credit was made for the legacy automakers because they can't produce and sell affordable EVs. So if there's no more EV credit, there's no more incentive to build EVs. Guess who's already making EVs profitably even without these EV credits? Tesla. And they're just going to have more market share in the US. That's a fact. That's positioned very, very extremely well. You know what's crazy, guys? I wrote on X saying that it's crazy to think that now Tesla is one of the most safest stocks to own. Gosh, I wonder who saw this coming. It's incredible where we are. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But that's your warning, guys. That's your warning. Don't expect that Tesla will slip away from these tariffs. They won't. And you can see the whole market is red. And I don't know how long this will be, and I don't mind because I'm buying more Tesla stock. But be prepared, according to Dan Ives. In the long term, none of this is going to matter. If you're a short-term investor, this is the warning for you. But if you're a long-term investor, I mean, you're probably like me, licking your lips to buy more stock. That's all I'm going to say. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm going to go nap for a bit because I am sick. Like, I am pretty darn sick. So make sure you guys smash that like button. Really, really appreciate it. And while you guys are at it, check out this video between Herbert and I. It was a very, very awesome video between us. Podcast. Make sure you guys grab your popcorn. It was an awesome video. Subscribe, guys. Become a channel member. So you're supporting me, and there's exclusive content and early access to videos. As little as $2 a month. A good way to support me. Anyways, guys, I love you guys so much, and I shall see you guys in the next video. See ya.